Hello, my name is Vivian Gerard, and welcome to Infinite Embodiment, the website space, the YouTube space, the work that I am here to do in this lifetime. It has been a little while since I've given an update, so I'm going to share some reflections and then give you an overview of what's happening in 2023. How do we deepen our connection, begin our connection, expand consciousness together in this community space that I hold. So I have a few notes. There's a lot to share. I am really excited. I have been spending the past month diving so deep into what it is I want to create. And I feel like today, on the 2nd of February, Groundhog Day, I am ready to share it. And yeah, it's really exciting. So a little backstory. I have been doing this work, energy coaching, since 2008, 2009. First on the receiving end, I went through my own process of being coached and remembering and having my own awakening and learning how to read energy, and then working with different coaches and mentors and eventually opening my own business in 2016. I've been coaching, I've been creating content, I have been running programs, writing books, I created a podcast. I've been doing all this creation and wondering, how's it all fit together? How is all of this going to come together in some magical way that really just flows and people can come into the containers I hold and there's a process and an organization and a structure to it. It felt like I was just creating all of these nuggets of magic and beautiful gifts, but they didn't quite gel in the way that they felt so real and aligned for me. So last year in September, on my wedding anniversary, I signed up for a year-long mentorship with a woman named Melanie Ann Lair, who runs a company called Alpha Femme. It was the most intense commitment I've made to coaching. It was the largest investment I have made to coaching, and I knew it was the right thing. So I stepped in September and immersed myself in all of the content. I paused my podcast. I pulled back from a lot of the offerings and creations that I was running and really just went inward. It was an amazing time. It was so much fun and also so overwhelming. There was a lot of new content I was learning. Some of the pieces of how to run a business were coming together in a beautiful way that I hadn't seen before. There was just this magical process that I was going through and also trying to integrate. I've told my husband it has felt like I'm doing an MBA in energetics and running an online coaching business next level. I have all the structure. I've taken the Bachelor of Science, the Bachelor of Arts. I've got the degree, and now here's the MBA, and I apply it. I learn and apply all at the same time. So no, this is not an actual certified MBA that I'm taking, but that's how it feels to me, and that's how I'm treating it. It feels like I'm learning from someone who has mastered a process that I'm eager to also master at the next level. And so I'm in it and then applying it all at the same time, which is kind of an intense way to study and learn. Also, while I've been running my business and managing my family, and I launched a new book. I wrote it. I didn't write it. I channeled it. I downloaded it last year from July, August through October, November. And then in January, I committed to reading a chapter each day into a Facebook group, which is great, except I had to transcribe each chapter before I read it. So January has been an intense month of absorbing, learning, creating this book, sharing this book, feeling all the things, and applying everything I'm learning. And I feel like I've arrived here on the 2nd of February, and it's all come together. The plan for this year is clear. The energetics are in place and seamlessly weaving together in this extraordinary way that I'm just so excited to share. And I can feel the frequency that I am embodying and transmitting is so powerful. And I have the capacity now. I have the structure in place. I have the tools that I need to be able to hold larger and larger spaces, larger and larger masterclasses, larger programs, deeper work than what I've even held before, which has been profoundly deep. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. And this is the first video I'm making to actually share all of it. So you can probably feel like I'm almost breathless with excitement, but it's a good way. It's that kind of breathless where you're like, I want to tell you everything. And if I talk really fast, maybe I'll share all of it and you'll receive all of it in one like whoosh of energy. And then you can unpackage it, in the way that feels good to you. So I'm going to steadily and methodically, precisely share some of, not most of it, not some of it, most of what is available for us to co-create in 2023. And I have notes because there's so much to share. So this video is going to be an overview. In her program, Melanie calls it a shop with me. It's an overview of how do we exchange in ways that you're ready for, and maybe you won't be ready until you're ready, that you're ready for, and that I have created and am ready to welcome you into. So there's some behind the scenes logistics that I'm going to be putting in place from making this video until when I actually share it, so that when you receive this transmission, this energetic connection, all the pieces will be in place for you to be able to say, oh, that I'm in. And then the link will work, the flow will work, and you'll land in the container with ease and grace. So I'm transmitting this, and it's all going to be prepared, which is super exciting. What you will find is that in this overview, there's a lot of information and invitations. And so trust the thing that lights you up. I would suggest listening to the whole thing, because there may be one little piece now and then another piece later, and then there's this whole thing. And you're like, I want the whole thing. So I would suggest watching the whole way through. This is exactly what happened to me when I watched the Shop with Me that Melanie shared. I was like, oh, that would be a fun program. That would be fun. And then she shared this whole thing, and I was like, that. And it was just this full body yes. I'm like, I am all in. I don't know what it's going to take, how it's going to work, but yes. And it was the best decision I've made in ages. Best decision. It has been, I don't even know, worth 10, 20 times what I've invested already. And I'm only in January. I have, I think, 7, 8 more months of this program. So who knows what's going to shift in my world before September of this year. So I would suggest watching this the whole way through. You're going to get a little overview of all the things. And then in the videos on each of the web pages, whatever it is you feel called towards, there will be deeper transmissions and descriptions and logistics, so that you can really feel each one individually, like, oh, yes, like I thought I was interested when you did the overview, and now I know I'm interested. Or no, not a match, or not at this time, maybe another time, or not for me, but maybe for somebody else. So settle in for the overview, and then trust how you're guided and move from there. Okay, so what is the overview? I feel like we're sitting down to have some tea together. All right, the overview. First, energy. Energy is, I believe, the basis of this human reality. It is the life force, the creative energy, the visualization, the intention. It's how do we form our reality? First, energy, and then how do we manifest it physically? How do we bring what we dream and desire into reality? And so there's this energy first, and then there's this physical manifestation second. So in the core work that I do, which is energy sessions, I meet with you on the phone. We can do sessions virtually or in person if you're here in Cincinnati. We can do them individually. We can do them in couples. You can do one session. You can do a whole package of sessions. And in those energy sessions, I have this ability that I have learned and mastered, which I feel like the more I do, the more other people get to have that wake up in themselves also. So by feeling and watching me read energy, something in you remembers, you also can do this. That I don't have some special gift that nobody else has. I've learned and practiced and trusted and mastered a process that anyone can do. We all come from this. We all have this ability of trusting our intuition and then tapping into whatever our flow or way of genius is of reading energy and sharing it. The problem is many of us don't trust it or we don't practice it. And so in sessions with me, what we do is we get on the phone or Zoom, whichever you're more comfortable with, and I read the energy. You come with whatever problem or issue you're working through. I listen to you and then close my eyes. I see energy as an image, or I feel it, or it's words that I see in my mind, or it's a song that I hear, it's a movie. Like there's all this information that your soul and my soul match up in the electromorphonetic field. I forget the exact words. Richard Rudd describes it beautifully. But it's like this field of truth and consciousness, and I know how to tap into it, and your soul is already in that field. Your mind, your humanness is like, huh? But your soul is already there. And so I have this trust in myself to feel truth in that field and then translate it. And so in an energy session, we move really fast through what are the things? How do I share it with you? And then it's up to you. What do you do with that? If it resonates, apply it. If it doesn't resonate, you put it aside. What I have found for many people is they come back later and they're like, oh, how'd you know? How'd you know? Oh, why didn't I listen to you? Why didn't I trust what was coming through? Why didn't I receive the message? Like it would have saved me so much heartache. It's whatever you're available for in the moment. So sessions are my basic work. It's the genius, the gift that I love. And it's like so easy for me because it's so natural. So energy sessions are available anytime. You can schedule them. I have an initial energy assessment, which if you've never done it before, is just sort of a like, I'll try it out. I'll try it out. I'll see how it feels. And then I'll see what's next from there. Those are always ongoing and you can schedule them when you're ready. What I found is as this starts to bubble up, as things start to like happen, we go through this awakening process. We have awareness happen. Someone says something. We start trusting the path. We start following the signs. And then all of a sudden, there's this like revolution that's happening in our life and everything is up in the air. It looks like chaos. It looks like divorce, illness, relationships ending, jobs blowing up. There's health. There's so much. And I call that awakening. And so I created an online program that this year I'm going to be running live that's called Awakening the Guides. And it's this methodical, step-by-step walk of awakening. So we look at all these different ways that energy is starting to shift who you are in this human journey. Awakening the Guides is a beautiful self-guided journey, and this year we're going to be doing it live in a community space. So that's sort of how do you take what's happening and begin, right? Begin the process of walking through an awakening so that it's grounded, so that it's embodied, so that you don't feel like everything's falling apart and you have no idea what to do next. For some people, that self-guided isn't enough. The masterclass way that I teach it in the live modules isn't enough. It's like I'm doing the work and I need someone to actually hold my hand. For individuals who feel that deeper call, I have a program that's called Remembering Together. And you can do it individually, you can do it as a couple. And so for 3 months, we take the Awakening the Guides content, all the work that you're going to do in that program, and we have 11 sessions. So I walk with you week by week. individually or as a couple. It's like, okay, let's integrate that. What is that bringing up for you? What does that remind you of? What are you remembering? What are you remembering as a soul as all of this is starting to shift and happen inside of you? It is transformational and it is going to rock your world, and you will not be the same at the end of it, and you'll go, what? Like, what was that journey? It's amazing. It's amazing. If you don't feel like you want to do that individually or don't have the resources yet that you want to do that individually, there is a group program that I created that's called Infinite Embodiment Pathways. They're small groups, 6 people, 3 months, same process. We have Awakening the Guides as the structure for each week. We show up for our group calls every week, and we integrate whatever that work was for the content of Awakening the Guides. But you're not doing it on your own or in a couple. You're doing it in a group. What's powerful about Infinite Embodiment Pathways, I call it IEP because it's fun. Because my husband's a teacher, and I have friends who have students and children with IEPs. And I'm like, you know what? IEPs are actually powerful. They're like individualized plans to support our education. And that's what I feel for the Infinite Embodiment Pathways. We all have our own way of learning. We all have our own journey of awakening. Nobody's the same. And there's something about partnering in a group and doing it together. Like walking the IEP path together for 3 months with these other people who are all in, just like you are, going through all their junk, looking at all their patterns, and then stepping into the space of freedom and excitement about who they are and why they're here on this planet and what it is that they're going to create. So Infinite Embodiment Pathways is going to run, well, the dates are going to be on the programs. It's okay. So Awakening the Guides is self-study. Remembering Together is individual or couple. Infinite Embodiment Pathways is small group. And we do it, I call it a class. IEP class 04 is going to be the next one. 05 and 06 I think will all run this year. And then next year I'll start some more of those classes. So, it's so good. I guess what I should say also, what I've been learning, this is part of my Millennium Layer MBA Energetics program implementation. What I've loved about the way that she does her work is she runs the same programs every single year, but she deepens into the content and comes back each year to teach it, to guide it more than she was the year before. So every program is around the same time, same theme, same modules, but she's different. She's learned more. She's mastered more. And so the people she's calling towards her are dropping in deeper with her and expanding the spaces. So more people, deeper work, more impact, more ripples into this planet's consciousness, humanity's consciousness. So that's what I'm doing. I've set up this structure, this schedule for 2023 that aligns with my own flow and the courses I've already created, the content that's already there. But I'm bringing in this live energy, this expanded version of who I am. What have I been learning about my own awakening? What have I been learning about my own pathways? What have I been remembering as I go through all of this growth and evolution that I'm exploring? How am I more and bringing that more into the work that I already do? So it feels really exciting. This is the first year I'm setting it in this context and with this schedule. So we're going to kind of feel our way. This will be a first time we're all doing it together. And then at the end of the year, after each program, I'll assess. And at the end of the year, I'll assess the whole year. And so then I'll set the schedule for next year. And I'm guessing I'll be adding more classes and adding more modules. And I don't even know. The prices for this year, I feel like I should say this too. The exchanges, the prices for this year are at the level that I feel very comfortable holding. Like, I know what you're going to receive from me is worth more than what you are going to exchange with me. What you're going to get, what you're going to shift, what is going to transform in you and your life is so much more than the actual money that you will be investing. Even though the amounts might seem high to some of you, it's going to feel like, wow, that was a good investment of my time, my attention, my money, my creative energy. Like, I am thrilled that that is what I chose to do. How do I know this? Because that's how I feel about the program I invested in. And all of that momentum and energy is flowing behind my work, the courses I'm creating. It's like strengthening what I know my value is, because I can see how much there is there. The gym is a community space where we play with energy. We focus on how do we infinitely embody more and more into this human experience with Gaia. How do we tap into the infinite soul, remember, understand, receive more and more of our own knowing of who we are at the consciousness level, and bring it into the body? How do we strengthen our body so that we can hold that much more energy, that much more remembering? And then how do we get the mind to work with all of that? The mind is this powerful tool, this resource that we are offered as humans, and it can also trip us up, loop us, lock us into patterns, have us doubt ourselves, bring in extra energy that has nothing to do with what's actually happening. Like, the mind can be a weapon. I'm just thinking of the movie Arrival, where she's trying to translate the images from the aliens that arrive. And there's this big debate between tools or weapons. I feel like that applies to the mind in a really clear way. And harnessing the power of the mind, slowing down its activity, and aligning it with the soul and the body is one of the greatest challenges of the human experience. It is something that I feel I have a lot of mastery and practice in. I still get tripped up. We all do. But in this community space of the gym, we get to really play with all of these and find ways to harmonize within ourselves, and then harmonize within community and group spaces. So I've set up several classes. Each one has its own focus, its own energetic, its own commitment of time, of resources, of money, of attention, of vulnerability, of power. So you'll feel which one is a match for you. You might start in one level and then decide after a few months, like, oh, I need to up level. I need to move into a different level of membership because this is not meeting my needs. I'm ready for something more. And so you can move around within the gym space. The agreement is that you commit to 1 year, that when you sign up for the gym, for a membership, you're saying, I'm going to give myself 1 year to really practice and apply all that I'm learning in each of the classes that I choose I'm going to be in. It's about you finding friends, you reuniting with people who can see you and understand you and walk this human realm and journey together. You will create beautiful friendships, and you will find people who you can reach out to when you're in your, what's happening? What's going on? How do I walk through this? You'll find information and knowledge within yourself you didn't even know you had, and it'll be pinged awake by the other people in the spaces with you. So each of the videos will give you a little more information, but that's the intention, the feeling of the gym. You make a 1 year commitment, and you do this walk, and you see what shifts, and then you see where you're going from there. Okay, gym sessions, awakening the guides, remembering together, IEPs. The next thing that I would share would be the Masterclasses. So I've never really thought of the work that I do as masterclasses. I've always called them like workshops or I don't even know, programs, meditations, visualizations. And what I love about the way that I've been watching Melanie weave masterclasses into her schedule is that the masterclasses open up the energy for the program that's going to be running next. It's like there's this beautiful movement of like, you just know you're flowing in a way that is logical and that carries you into the next thing. And so I've looked at my schedule in a way that like, how can I weave it in a way that feels beautiful and expansive? And like, of course, that's the next thing we're going to look at. So the first masterclass is going to be in February, and it's called Belonging Here. It's going to be on Valentine's Day, around Valentine's Day. I used to do one-day events, a couple hours, record it, and then have it on my website as available for content later. And what I've decided this year is to expand the energy and offer bite-sized nuggets. So all of my masterclasses this year will be 3 days, and they will have, I think one of them might be 4 days, and they will have like energetics that you can receive, sit with, ponder, contemplate, question, come back to the next nugget, receive, contemplate, start to get it, come to the last one. Oh yeah, like I'm in, I'm on, let's go. And then you can apply that, you can integrate that into your life. And so there's work you'll do on your own, and there's just this energetic transmission that you will be receiving in each of the master classes. So belonging here is, do I belong? How do I know I belong here on earth? How do I know I belong here in this body? How do I know I belong in this family? How do I know I belong in this relationship, in this company, in this work community? And often it's the choice to say and embody that I belong. But we get in our head and we swirl and we don't allow ourselves to belong. So this masterclass is going to guide you through a process of exploring that in your own reality. And you can come with one person, one relationship, one thing that you want to focus on, or you can come with multiple, or you can listen to the audios and apply it to relationship after relationship and clear a whole bunch of resistance and energy. So that will be in February. In May, we're going to have Loving Our Mothers with content that's already been created, several meditations and visualizations to explore what contract did you and your mother co-create as souls before you came here to Earth. Because, whoa, right? Now you're here and you're like, the intention for this class is you and your mother. You can come back to it, I guess, and explore you and your children, but it's not intended for that. It's really intended for your relationship with your mother. In June, we continue that energy with Loving Our Fathers. Why did we create the contract with our dads? How are we doing with that contract? Are there some things we can tweak and expand and understand better? Whether your fathers are here present in this life or have already transitioned in our souls, there is always wisdom and guidance that impacts our own human experience. The next one is Loving Ourselves. I call it individuation. Once we understand that there's this soul contract between ourselves and our mothers, ourselves and our fathers, we can unravel some of the ways that we've limited or blocked our own love for ourselves because of whatever the stories are that we feel is true or that have been true or that we're rewriting about the relationships with our parents. When we individuate, when we see that we are all three separate souls, all choosing to come here to Earth and have a human experience, now we can look at ourselves, our soul in our human form, through a different lens. It is the most beautiful process to go through all three of them. you can choose to just do one, kind of focus on that, focus on that, focus on that. Or you can do all three, and you can take your time with them. You don't have to finish them. The live classes will be sequential day after day, and then the content will be recorded, and there's all this other content from the past classes that you can explore. So that is an amazing walk that stands on its own as powerful and deep and beautiful and healing. So that's that one. And the next masterclass is going to be in October, and it is called Trusting the Signs. I find that for me, when I'm paying attention to the messages and the guidance from my soul and my guides, my life is so much easier. There's so much more joy and play. The resistance isn't there. The abundance flows. The magic is all around. Like, it's so much easier. And then we do this thing where we're like, no. That was not a sign. No, I'm going to pull another card, not trust that card. I'm going to go that direction, not this direction. I know that that's not what my guides were trying to tell me. Nope. I know better. And it's like we pull our energy back from the soul realm, and we're like here in the human with our mind and our bodies, and we're like, I know, I've got this. I don't need my guides. And we struggle and we fight, and things blow up, and we're humbled again. And then suddenly there's this surrender where we're like, fine, show me what I need to do. And it works. All of a sudden, this magical shift happens in our journeys. And we're like, oh, the light is pouring in. The sun is shining on me. The skies are blue. The numbers are aligning. The cards are telling me magic. Money is flowing in. My body is filled with energy. Everyone is nice to me. Cars are letting me go in front of them. Like, people are sending me gifts. What happened? We're so cute. We're so cute. So Trusting the Signs is going to be a simple 3-day masterclass, boom, 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 in October. No fluff, no extra, just 3 transmissions that you are going to delight in. And the intention is that you deepen your trust in yourself. You deepen your trust in your guides. You start remembering to listen and follow the signs. So that is going to be a fun play, like energy in October. Then there will be 2 portal activations, one on 8/8 and one on 11/11. Hold, please. Those are going to be wildly powerful. Incredible transmissions of energy, massive shifts in consciousness, amplified by the number of people who choose to participate. I don't even know what the frequency will be like in my world by August and by November. I don't even know, but I have placed the portal activation on my calendar. I am going to set up all the pieces that need to be put in place, and I'm trusting the signs that are going to guide us into the most fun, magical, co-creative activation. 8/8 is the Lionsgate portal. It starts at the end of July and it runs through the, I think, 12th of August. It is traditionally perceived as a time of manifestation, and the energy peaks. It's when the sun aligns with all these planets. You can find out more as I get the page ready. It peaks on 8/8. And so on 8/8, I'm going to have a full day of goodness. A full day of goodness transmitted via Zoom from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Speakers, healers, guides, magic makers, one every hour, who will share a little activation with us. Bite size, 30 minutes, little Q&A, little pause, next class. I participated in one event like this by the matriarch called the Money Boot Camp last year, and it blew my socks off. It was so much fun. I couldn't even keep up with what was shifting. It was amazing. So my intention in this moment, in February for August, is that I'm the space holder. I hold one of the classes, and then I'm calling in 11 other creators who are thrilled to align with the frequency I'm holding and transmit some of their magic to all of those who come together and focus on manifestation and embodiment. The infinite soul embodied in the human form on 8/8. It's going to be amazing. There's some other extra nuggets that will all be included in that, so it's going to be beautiful. And then on 11/11, it's going to be deeper activations that go for a month. So we're going to start on 11/11 and we're going to go through 12/12. There will be 5 of us who will be hosting 1-hour workshops from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. on 11/11, which is a Saturday. And then there will be activations by each of the 5 of us over the next month that are going to be sequential. So you'll have my gift and then the next person's gift and then the next person's gift. And so for a month, you're going to have this activation experience of infinite soul embodied, more wide awake, powerful, ready. That's the 11/11 portal activation. And then in September, I am going to host my first mentorship program. It will be for 21 men and women. It will be 4 months. So it's going to carry us from September 21st, the day after my year-long mentorship completes. I will be opening my own mentorship, and it will run for 4 months and carry us through into January, and it will complete right as Pluto moves into Aquarius, which is one of the guiding energetics for me in all that I'm creating in this next year. So let me pause for a moment and tell you about that. So Pluto is this like cool, energetic field of creation that I describe in my book, Just White Light, as the doorway home. The space, the place that we walk through when we as souls complete not just our human experience, but our soul's experience, the arc of learning that we go through as the infinite soul. We begin from source, the origin of everything. We individuate. We have this like experience of going, doing, creating, human, other planets, whatever we're doing. And then this arc carries us back to the completion of our journey as a soul. I believe when we're at that completion point, we arrive in the energy field of Pluto. And Pluto is this like doorway back to source, returning to source. It's this completion, integration. I describe it as like the platter that you would contribute all of your offerings that you manifested in your journey as a soul back to source. You would say, I originated from you, source. I went and had all these adventures and I learned all these things and did all this stuff, and here I am with all of this to offer back to you. So that consciousness, all of us are more because of the time I spent individuating from source. So Pluto has been in Capricorn, structures, organizations, rules, foundations, setting things in place. All the work I've been doing since my awakening, all the work I've been doing, structures, building, creating. And now Pluto is going to move into Aquarius in March. I'm going to release my latest book on that day. I'm going to share it on Amazon, send it out into the world. It's going to be amazing. Other things are happening then too, but that's my contribution when Pluto moves into Aquarius for the first time, March 23rd. And then there's going to be 3 months of Pluto and Aquarius doing this sort of trial run, testing the energy. And so there's a lot happening in my business, March through June, like testing some things, trying some things, awakening the guides and Infinite Embodiment Pathways, like. And then Pluto goes back into Capricorn and says, okay, you've had a little feel for what it's going to be like when we play in this Aquarian way. Aquarius is building communities, remembering we're all one energy. We all come from Source, God, the universe, and we're all going to return to that energy at some point. So why do we need separation? Why do we even believe that there is separation? There isn't. We are already in the energy field, the consciousness of Source. We've never actually left. We believe we have because we have our individual experience, but we're all Source. I feel like I'm going to lose a lot of people here, but this is really important. This consciousness of Pluto in Aquarius is what is going to define humanity, the next version of humanity. And so we have this little trial run for 3 months, March to April to May to June. Is it 4 months? March to April, April to May, May to June. 3 months. Have this little like test. So stuff's going to come up. People are going to be like, what? Right? You're going to feel this like, what's happening? And then Pluto comes back into Capricorn. It's like, okay, now let's restructure. Let's build some new foundations from this new energy. Let's collaborate in ways that perhaps you weren't aware of being possible before. Let's bring it and ground it and implement it and build a stronger foundation as a collective humanity. So that when we go back, Pluto moves back into Aquarius in January. When we go back into that energy, it's game on. You're ready. You're resourced. You are integral. You know your place in the communities that you choose to be in. And now these communities, great magic, build experiences, co-create in ways that we never even thought would be possible because we were back in the Pluto and Capricorn energy, figuring things out. Aquarians are the future, the new way, the potential, I'm a double Aquarius sun, Aquarius moon. I'm telling you, like, I get where we're going and it's so exciting. It's so exciting. And so this year really is a time of tapping into that, coming back, integrating it, defining and restructuring, and then being prepared so that in 2024, we're ready. We're going to do it. It's time. A lot of what I am focusing on in this next year is going to be preparing all of us for Pluto in Aquarius, holding the frequency of where I know we are moving towards so that you can match to that and feel what your contribution will be in that new frequency. How do you bring your magic through to multiply, amplify, exponentially expand what is possible for the future of humanity in that new energy field? So, the Metamorphosis Mentorship is taking us through the process. Right now it's for 21 people. If I find that we have a need for 2 mentorship programs because there are so many that are ready, they will run side by side 2 groups of 21. We will not go bigger than 21 in one group. What we are going to do is walk through this process of metamorphosis. So if we match the energy of the natural world, of the animal kingdom, if we kind of look at the process, right? You have the egg, you have the larva, you have the pupa, and then you have the butterfly, or you know that process that you studied back in science. We're going to be exploring that in 4-week segments. So the first month, the seed of who we're becoming. But we're all sharing. We're going to have breakout groups. We're going to have experiences within the mentorship where we're doing some self-analysis. We're mentoring each other. We're in a container that is about transformation. And we're going to walk our way through this process from September 21st until the beginning, I think it's the middle of January. And then we'll have this celebration integration on the day that Pluto moves into Aquarius, which I believe is January 21st, 2024. It's going to be a once in a lifetime experience. We will never have this time back. There will never be a moment where humanity is moving into the energy of Pluto and Aquarius again. So this metamorphosis mentorship is specific to this year. I'm sure next year I will repeat something like this, but it will never have the same frequency that this one will have. So people say that like it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. This is. This frequency will never exist again. So yeah. You'll feel if it's a match or not. Okay. Then what I created just today, like just an hour or two ago, what I created is bringing all of this together. What I have loved about Melanie's, she calls it the Alpha Femme experience, the year-long program. What I have loved is that she requires a year-long commitment. And then in that year, you get everything that she's doing. All of it. You participating as much as you want or as little as you want. You pay for all of it, packaged into this incredibly valuable bundle that's a third of the price. Maybe not a third. It's a little over a half of the price of what it would be if you buy each one individually. You can dip in and out. You can do all of them. You can skip some of them. You can be live. You can watch the recordings. Like, it's all yours for a year. And you get to calibrate to whatever the frequency is that you're ready for within that container. So I've been sitting with like, how do I do that in my business? I've never done that before. Like, how do I offer an experience for people who are ready where we walk together for a year? Like, what do I even do? And so today I created an offering that's called Journeying Together for many reasons. So journey to me is, well, the definition is moving, traveling from one place or state of being to another. A journey, in the ways that I have defined it in my own spiritual awakening, is also a plant medicine ceremony. It's a space, a time where, with the facilitation of plants, consciousness expands. The medicine for me has been a resource, a tool that has allowed me to trust the messages I receive, the ways that I understand the consciousness of Gaia and Source and my own, and this human realm, and all the books that I have tapped into and created, all of the content that I've created has been amplified and strengthened by my experiences in plant medicine ceremony. What I have come to understand and integrate, and it has taken me years to do this. My first plant medicine ceremony was in 2012. Blew my mind. It took me forever to integrate. And I went through a lot all at one time. I did a lot of ceremonies. For me, it's a lot. For other people, they'd be like, oh, that was nothing. But for me, it was a lot. And then I had my world blow up. I had to integrate what was happening. It was so much. I couldn't find a state of being for myself that could hold all of this information and awareness and consciousness and still be present in my humanness. It was so, and so I've really spent years integrating and applying all that has come through in those ceremony spaces. what I realized over time, and this was a huge realization for me, is that I am the medicine for myself. I am the medicine. I am the consciousness that is speaking to myself through all of these experiences. My soul is using ceremony as a tool to help me trust what I already know, to help me remember the vastness of who I am as an infinite being and integrate it into this embodied human that is called Vivian, that is here to create and do all these cool things. And so when I came up with this title for my year-long experience with those who are ready, the title is Journeying Together. I am my own medicine. You are your own medicine. And we come together consistently, week after week, the whole year, through all of these programs, through gym membership, through quietly listening, virtual healings, through all the masterclasses, all the programs, the mentorship, the awakening, the guides, the infinite embodiment, like all of it. We come together and we walk through whichever pieces you're ready for in the moment, but you get access to all of it for 1 year. And so we journey together. Not me over you, me knowing more and you learning from me. Together. This is the way I do my work. We're doing this together. We're side by side. I've had my stuff. I've been learning. I'll share as much as you're willing to hear about or what you're interested in. And I know it's going to help speed you through whatever you're working on because there's a match. Energy attracts like energy. So I've done some things, learned some things, and I'll share that. And you can apply it to what you're going through, what you're learning, and then it'll speed you along. And so we journey together. We come in and we separate and we integrate, and I learn from what you're experiencing and it amplifies what I'm doing. And there's this journeying together, but we're both moving forward and we're doing it side by side. And so for 1 year, you move in and out of everything I offer in whatever ways feel good to you. All of it. Fun. So cool. So exciting. I get to hang out with you all year. You get to hang out with me all year. And who knows? Who knows who we will become at the end of the year. So that's what is happening in my world. It is the most magical time. I am so excited, beyond excited, more grounded and steady in what I'm here to do in this lifetime than I ever have been, more resourced, more stable in like my home life, my body, my calendar, the support structure I have around me. Like this is the best I've ever been. And it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning because Pluto is moving into Aquarius. It's just beginning. Oh my God. So exciting. So this is my version of Shop With Me in the way that Melanie hosts it. This is what I'm here to contribute to consciousness. I have a lot to do to get it all structurally, logistically put in place, but the energetics are absolutely in alignment and ready to play. The exchanges for each one will be on the web pages. You'll feel where you're at, what feels right to you. You'll know. This may be something like what Melanie describes that I love. She's like, this may be for your vision board. You may say, yes, I'm ready for the masterclass. I'm going to dip my toe in and do my work. And then that's going to get my energy, my momentum moving. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to move to this one. And then when I'm ready, I'll move to this one. You'll walk your way into whatever feels aligned for you. So trust that. You might say, no. If you're still watching this video and you're saying no, like, God bless you for sitting through this whole thing. And there's a reason. There's a reason. So I trust that there's an activation. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. This is what I want to say. There's so much free content that I have already created that is fully accessible to you. And if you're listening to all this and you're like, I am not going to invest $1 in this work that you're doing. I want to sit back and see who you're going to be as Pluto goes into Aquarius, Viv. I'm going to watch because I'm not buying what you're selling. Awesome. Dive into the free content. Every day, just this past month, I started doing this. Every day I post a little nugget of inspiration called Gaia's Love Daily. It's a little 30-second video. I tune into whatever I feel the energetics are that need to be transmitted. And I create this little post that has the words written down, and then I speak what I wrote down, and then I match music to it. And so you have this 30-second Gaia's Love Daily that tickles your heart, gets your mind questioning, has you feel something in your body, connects you to this planet, to this energy field of consciousness called Gaia. You can contemplate Gaia's Love Dailies forever, as long as I keep creating them, which in this moment, I don't know. I don't know how long I'm going to create them. I'm loving them. I'm having so much fun right now. Those might go indefinitely. I don't know. We'll know when it's done. The Gaia's Love Daily comes from the energy of the Gaia's Love podcast. So I started this podcast, I don't know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I should know this. At the time, I was like, I'm doing this for other people. This Gaia's Love podcast is to help humanity. I'm going to translate how Gaia loves all of us. And so I'm going to tell you how Gaia loves you. What I found is it became a diary. It became a recording of how I deepened into Gaia's love for me, my love for Gaia, my connection to Source, my choice to be here in this planet, my choice to be a human, my choice to stay here on this planet, even when things got intense, when I wasn't sure, when I thought, I'd rather just return to Source and not deal with all of this junk. You know, it hurts. It hurts too much to be a human. I think I'd rather leave. And so Gaia's love was, just this powerful accountability that my soul created for my humanness to say, keep moving forward. Stay here in this body. Choose to participate. Choose to connect. Choose to create. Remember that this choice serves you as a soul, serves everyone around you. Stay in alignment. And so at first it was every day, and then it became every week. And then I was like, I'm done. There's nothing more to say in this space, which was right around the time I signed up for the program last September. This diary is recorded at first in audio podcast, and then at some point, I don't remember when, I switched to video. And so you can find all of them on YouTube. You can find them on all the main audio podcast platforms. You can start at the beginning. There's 447 of them. It took me a long time. I had a lot of work to do. I had a lot of growing up to do. I'm a slow learner, but I figured it out. So you can start at the beginning. It's called breathing, I think, or exhaling. And you can walk through every single episode, and you will join me on the journey that I took as the infinite soul embodying into the human experience. You'll grieve with me when I lost humans I adored. You will celebrate with me when magic was happening and I met my milestones and created something new and launched and shared it with the world. And you'll be with me in the ordinary days where I'm showing up. I don't even know why. I don't even know what's happening. And yet here I am. And this human thing, right? Whew, it's all there. I have had one person, Susan, shout out to Susan, who messaged me and she's like, I've watched every episode. You walked with me through COVID. You held me steady. Your voice was like this frequency. And oh my God. I'm like, Susan knows a lot about me. Susan and I we're buds because she really knows who I am. My hope is at some point I get to know more about who Susan is. But this is the magic of technology. This is Aquarius at its finest. I'm broadcasting a frequency, and those who are like energy are going to find that frequency and be magnetized into co-creation. Whether it's simply a receiving of the transmission, and then Susan gets to apply it to her own journey and watch what ripples in her experience and share it with others, and then watch what ripples in their experience. Or it activates something, and then Susan's creating. She's had an awakening. She's more than she ever was before because my transmission activated something in her, and it sparked alive creativity in a way that we didn't know before we co-created. So the podcast is waiting if that's where you would like to begin. There's also a lot of inspirational posts, meditations, articles, blog posts on my website. My website is, I like to think of it as like an art gallery. It has all these different portals that you can go through. Every circle you see on my website is a portal into another page, into another space. And so you can just drop into my website and portal walk. Get lost in the portals. Something will spark awake inside of you. And then you can go create from that energy. I have books. The books aren't free. There's a lot of the recording of the books that's available in my podcast that you can listen to those and then see like, maybe I want to read the book. Maybe I should buy that. The books are all on Amazon. It's a self-print, so every time you order, they'll print it brand new and you'll get a copy of it. Yeah, the books are available. I don't know. I've been creating for a long time and having so much fun doing it. So there's all these little nuggets and deposits of energy that are waiting for you to play with and see what it sparks in you for your journey. So if you're listening still, you're like, I don't want to buy anything. I so honor that. I trust everyone's process is so right for them, and divine timing is not mine to orchestrate. I don't know the best path for anyone. I only know what's best for myself. And so I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep creating. I'm going to keep expanding. I'm going to keep inviting, and you decide what works for you. You'll know. You'll feel it, just like I did. I was like, I'm going to do the program for a year. Oh boy. I got to go discuss this with my husband. It was not in the 2022 plan. It was not in the 2023 plan. And there was like a little bit of fireworks. Tell you what, that was not how I thought our anniversary was going to go. We went to bed a little upset with each other. And I knew what was right for me. I knew what my next step was. My whole body was like, oh, we're going to do this. We are so in. We are all in on this experience. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm trying to think of a good example. I'll share this. It's actually very similar to when I met my husband, not when I met him. We're going to have a quick story here because it just feels relevant. Oh my goodness, I have no idea how long this video is, but I'm having so much fun. And if you're still watching, I'm assuming you are too. So here's the story of how I knew my life was going to change forever. Okay. I'm like, how do I even share this story with you? I've shared it in a couple different spaces, the podcast and the Journey of Souls. This would be a fun space for you to start if you are new to who I am and what I do. In YouTube, on my YouTube channel, there is a video that is called Healing Our Souls Journey of Souls. And it's my book review of a book by Dr. Michael Newton, who is a hypnotherapist who accessed the space where souls are between human incarnations. And he did it through hypnotherapy. And thousands of human beings under hypnosis told him the same thing. None of them knew each other. He recorded all of it, and then he wrote this book. And so I do a review of this book. And at the end, I talk about meeting Brad, who became my husband. And there's an energy, there's a frequency in that. There's a frequency in that transmission, that video, that will either resonate or not. And then you'll know, like, are we like energy attracting like, you and I? Or are we like, no? You'll know after you watch that video. If you're watching this and then you watch that, you'll know for sure. But in that, I share my story about Brad and I. But I'll give you a little sneak peek. So I went through a heartbreaking, family ripping experience of a divorce when my children were young. My son was 5. My daughter was 8 or 9. It was right before I turned 40. It was right when I found energy work. It's when I began my own spiritual awakening. It was a tumultuous, really difficult period of my life and my family's. And it redefined pretty much everything. Redefined how I saw myself, how I saw my role as a parent, how I defined myself as a partner, a wife, as a daughter, as a worker. I went from being a stay-at-home mom to working full-time in marketing and high pressure, high, fast-paced, huge responsibilities, maybe mostly self-imposed, but it felt like this is what I have to do my job well and to be able to provide for my children and I, and also like, oh my God, how am I going to do all this? And oh yeah, in the middle of that, spiritual awakening and finding an energy coach and beginning an energy reading program, and somewhere in there meeting Brad, and right after that, losing one of my closest friends. It was my Awakening the Guides process, which is where that program comes from. In that time, I, working for this construction firm, started going to these meetings for this new school that we were building. It was a performing arts creative school here in Cincinnati that's well funded, part of the Cincinnati Public Schools program, but like the diamond, in the school system. And I'm at all these meetings with all of these really wealthy investors and people who want to make a big splash about the beauty and the advancement of this performing arts school. And so they're going to have this big gala. And so I'm this little, as Melanie says, I'm a little chicken nugget sitting in these meetings, a stay-at-home mom turned business exec, marketing person who doesn't know what I'm doing. It was right after I started. I separated, began my divorce process, started working full-time, started this construction company, completed my divorce. I'm in these meetings. And there's this guy there, super cute, funny, irreverent, down to earth. We're both looking at each other in these meetings like, what is happening? Why don't we just open a school and like teach kids? Like, why are we talking about all of this stuff? And so we're sitting there like, why are we here? Both of us kind of knew that, but we weren't friends. And he was representing the school and I was representing the construction company. We had work to do, roles to play. So we get all the way to the gala and we've been talking, but nothing. My divorce is complete. This gala happens. And a few days before that, we have to do like a walkthrough at the school and the press are coming and big announcement opening, like all this attention. I'm trying to stay grounded, manage all of these things that were really new to me, look like the professional I didn't feel like I was. He's this tech, awesome, grounded dude that's managing all these energies and trying to teach and run his own program and support this massive opening. We're both like overwhelmed. And my friend who died, her name was Denise. She was my assistant at Turner, well, at the construction company. She was my assistant and the most beautiful human. And so we're at the school. We're running all over. There's all these reporters that are trying to get the article on this big release. And we're somewhere upstairs on one of the floors, and I get lost. I don't know where I'm at. So I call Brad on his cell phone, and he's down on the ground floor as he would be managing everything. Well, the symbolism of that. I'm up on the top floor running around lost. He's grounded on the first floor, planted energetically. This defines our relationship. This is like us. So I call him and I'm like, hey, I'm lost. I don't even know where the reporters are. Can you help me get back to the lobby? He's like, yeah, just do this, and then come down the stairs. So I'm talking to him as I'm doing this, coming down the stairs. And I turn the bend on the last staircase because, they zigzag. I was on the top floor. He's on the first floor. Turn the bend. He's standing at the bottom. He's got his hand kind of propped up holding the phone. His foot propped on the step. Big cheesy grin, looking right at me. Standing right next to him is Denise, my beautiful friend who died just a year later. And he's like, hey. And I go, oh boy. Like, what? What is happening? What is about to shift in my life? Like, oh boy. And I walked down the stairs. And life was never the same again. We have been inseparable ever since. I blew up my family again, introducing him with my children and into all of my friend relationships, my parents. He calls my mom and dad. Like, we had to go through this whole reorientation, recalibration, alignments. We have done some big healing work individually and together. We moved in first because I wasn't going to get remarried and he wasn't going to get remarried. And then a year later, we're married in our beautiful home that we still live in. And we've raised our children, taken them through high school and college, married his children, brought grandbabies into the family. Like, we have been on this journey together, and I have no idea what it's going to look like in the future. I know what he activates in me. I know what I activate in him. I know how deep the love and the soul contract commitment is to be doing this life together. That, oh boy, what's happening? That feeling is very similar to what I felt when I signed up for the year-long mentorship with Melanie Ann Lair. And that was a long story, but an example of what it's like to walk with me, of how I live my life, of how I go all in when I know it's time. And so if you're still watching this and there's this feeling inside of you of, we're going to do something together, Viv. I don't know yet what it is, but I know we're going to walk this journey together. I am so delighted. I'm so excited for what we're going to co-create. I already trust and know the soul reunions that are going to be happening in my world here on are going to be the best ever. I have been preparing myself for this time. I have been studying myself deeper and deeper into my work, knowing I am calling towards me all of the reunions with all of the souls that I have played with in my entire arc of learning, from when I individuated from Source all the way through to now, as Pluto enters Aquarius, as I feel myself moving into my return home to Source. All those I have played and co-created with, who are here in human form at this time on our planet, we're coming back together. We're having soul reunions that are going to thrill me. As excited as I've been to play with my children, to play with Brad, to play with my family, my friends, my grandchildren, like as good as it has been, there's so much more. There's so many more. And I've been preparing for this time. And so have you. So when it's the divine right time, we'll reunite and it'll be extraordinary. It'll be so good. We won't be able to control our giggles. It will be so, so good. So that's what's happening. I invite you to step into any of this that feels true and right for you, to share this video if you're inspired, to share with other people, to invite them to get to know me and step into the work that I do. The current thing that you can do if you want to be live with me is to sign up for the Experience of an Announcement, which just completed. It's all waiting for you in the Facebook group. It's $111. It includes a signed copy of the book, which hasn't even gone to print yet. So you won't get the book until the end of March when Pluto goes into Aquarius. But you'll be able to listen to the book for 31 days if you want, or binge all of it at once, whatever feels right to you. And you'll be caught up to where I am as this year is beginning. So you can start with that. And then the next live experience is going to be the Belonging Here Masterclass, which will be around Valentine's Day. 3 classes. So you can join that and kind of get a feel for my energy and what's happening and how this year is feeling. And then energy sessions are always available. And then the gym memberships are always available. So, yep. So nice to meet you if we haven't yet met. So nice to co-create in this magical way. And I look forward to all that this year is going to bring both of us. I wish you so much prosperity and joy and bliss in 2023. May it exceed all of your wildest dreams and bring you everything. So much love.